Hello, Miss Catherine. Thank you for your time. We will contact your son. How have you been today?
Very good, thank you. Very happy to be here.
Okay, very well. First, I want you to tell me about your life, what you like to do, and what are your qualities and weaknesses.
I am currently studying for a degree in foreign language with an emphasis on English. I have been doing teaching practice at the Belo Horizonte Educational Institution for more than a year, where I have been able to work with children between the ages of 11 and 14. I call their you that my strength are the practice and perseverance I had always had so that my students learn who I am. My weaknesses are that it is difficult for me to speak loudly and sometimes my students do not listen. I am also nurse. I work for some time in the hospital in the area of pediatric emergencies. I love working with children. I taking care of them so that they recover when they are sick. I lead that they trust my unfailing support in me. I like to transmit new knowledge to my students so that they participate in class and know that they can do it or the activities I develop in class. My main tool is motivation.
Very well. For now, have you had experience teaching students about English? How many?
The experience I had teaching English I had obtained during the pedagogical internships that I have been doing since the last year with the practical course at the university in Ahuachica. I worked with the 5th grade of primary school. This year, I had been doing my internship with the course since the beginning of the year 6 at the 7th grade of the Belo Horizonte Educational Institution. So I consider I that already had some experience in teaching English, of course. I want to have much more experience the teaching the language properly. It is important to be able to teach at language properly in order to achieve that student practice and learn improperly.
Okay, I see. Why have you been studying to be an English teacher?
Because I want to teach children and adolescents a new language so that they can communicate in another language and because I like to share knowledge and be part of building the character and values of new generation. I lead share experience with children that they learn for me. I then realize of the constant learning that I with what the with it is important, not stop learning, and students we have to prepare to overcome difficulties and improve teaching skill for communication and teaching at the university. We can acquire knowledge of different subjects for personal, work, and professional growth.
Okay, good answer. What goals will you have as an English teacher in 3 years?
In 2 years, I hope to have graduated with a degree in English. I to be working in a school teaching my students. the English language and white stable jazz. The improves my economy and that of my family. What I most want is to be able to carry on my life project, to help my children educate so that they can be professional, also have their own home and travel to different places in the world where they speak English to improve my fluency and my skill for communication during the English language and to be able to bring that knowledge to my students.
I understand. Have you been enjoying teaching the students English? Why?
I have really enjoyed teaching English to my students because I have been able to apply different teaching methodologies from technological tools to traditional strategies, and I have been able to learn different methodologies and ways of teaching the language from the teacher with what I had carried on my pedagogical internship process in this institution can share different experience in learning and teaching the language. You can use a tool such as TV screen and some equipment to help your students develop listening and speaking skill of the language, and you can develop activities with didactic cards and imagine to make it easier for a student to learn the language.
That is important. Now, as a English teacher, how will you teach a child who doesn't want to learn English in class?
The best way to teach a student who does not want to learn is to motivate and stimulate him with innovative tools and strategies that can help me, yes, and help, and that can teach him that is with a student who has no interest in learning the language must be made accompaniment and show you how important it is to learn a language to be able to succeed professionally and personally. Science the language can help you has better opportunities to success in life and achieve your goals.
Very well. What strategies will you use it to actively teach students in English class?
Will motivate students to participate more in class and to be able to carry out the theories proposed in the English subjects would use different strategies that motivate them, would use technological and didactic to arouse the interest of the student that motivates them to participate in class in way activities or they are the protagonists of their learning that they can use attractive material that attracts them. I make it then enjoy the class. I would treat that my students don't know yet words in English class so that they do not yet discover and feel apathy for the language.
Well done. If you had the job, what would you to do improve student learning and teaching at the institutions?
I encourage them to be better every day so that they achieve the goals that they manage to have significant learning with the linguists that they manage to see to importance of learning the language for their personal development so that they can practice English while playing and talking with their peer and with other people. I would motivate using technological tools that represent their interests that they can practice be watching an anime movie or listening to music they like that makes them feel comfortable. I would use cards with figures that illustrate the topic I am teaching them well since I had noticed that a student very boring black and white photocopies showed apathy for that.
Very well, Miss Catherine. And now, what do you want to work in this educational institution?
I would like to work in this institution because I like working with children. I am one that transmits my knowledge to them in friendly and meaningful way. Also, the institution is in the city and it is relatively close to my place of residence, and I understand that the focus of the institution it is inclusive education. So it will be a pleasure for me to be able to work with children who require special education since I have a diploma in educational psychology and another in education by competence with making me a competent person to deal with asking as a student would might use my skill as a teacher and as a person that will be very important for my professional development.
Okay, Miss Catherine. What goals do you think you will be accomplishing personally, academical, and financially in 4 years?
In 4 years, I will have finished my degree and will be working as a teacher doing what I most working with children. I fishing my specialty or the master degree in education to be able to travel and see another country and have a stable job with to stay the have decent salary that allow me to live comfortably will be very important achievement for my sons. I will have compl- com- completed part of my life project and will be helping my children to create their own so that they can become professional and achieving their personal goals as well.
Very well. What strikes you about this school?
This institution has carried my attention. That it could carry out recreational activities with the student. The profile they are looking for requires someone who has charisma relatively easily with maintain good communication with the members of the institution and the student and meet this equality. This opportunity will be for me and for a personal growth where I will put my skill as a teacher at the service of the institution to teach a new language to the student, and I will be able to carry out different activities with them so that they develop reading, pronunciation, and listening to the English language. I will be a great opportunity for me and my students.
Very well. What action would you take if a parent disagrees with your teaching method?
It at any point I may work as a teacher. A parent does not agree with my teaching methods. I would contact with to discuss his position regarding my way of teaching, and I would reach an agreement with him so that he so can comfortable in my class. Since the most important thing is that the children have the willingness to learn. I think that teacher must adapt to different situations, and we must always try different strategies and teaching methodologies, and we must research constructive criticisms in order to grow professionally and personally.
I understood. What is your opinion about the importance of diversity, equality, and inclusive in a classroom?
I believe that the most important thing the teeth of that children learn values of equality, diversity, inclusion. A respect to that we can will build society. Children from the first year or their training must be clear that we are equal and that we can live in peace and be tolerant to avoid conflicts in the classroom. In their social environment, for this reason, teacher must be training for inclusive education and be able to teach a student who demand is easily learns at their own pace. As teacher, I can't pretend that all students are equal and the best way to teach. Then it's be sample because each student is different and their difference must be accepted. A teacher has to treat with their needs so that they achieve good development in their environment, school, and personal.
Good, good answer, Miss Catherine. What is your opinion about the importance of inclusion in a classroom?
Inclusion is very important because children need to learn that we are all some regardless of skin tone, race, or any physical limitation and personal might have. We are all special in our individualities and have different abilities, and each has their own learning pace. For the reason, students must learn to respect transcripts for the family and their school environment to avoid situations such as bullying and discrimination, since they significantly affect the learning and personal development of students. I will be personal challenge for me to be able to take my part of this project that has inclusive education as its central axis. Students can become victims and measurement with their other classmates every day. So it is important that teachers remain aware of their behavior in order to provide them with support when they require it.
Very well, Miss Catherine. Which pedagogical tools have you been interested in implementing in your English classes?
For me, it will be very important to be able to use pedagogical tools in the classroom, since since they will be determining factor that helps a lot to develop a good English class because I make it easier for you teaching pronunciation to a student be listening to an audio recording and some be showing the movie. There's the other situation that making different because they facilitate the teaching learning process of new language. Children show more interest in class where you use a TV screen or a sound device than in traditional dictation. Technological tools around the interest and motivate you to learn a new language.
Okay, Miss Catherine. To finally, how would you like to implement technology as an only for your class?
I would love that because the students show more interest in a class where you use technological tools than in traditional dictation and Blackboard class where the students are recipient of their little participation in the class during my experience in the pedagogical practice. They had managed to see that the students are motivated and interested in watching a video on TV screen or listening to song or say images on a screen. This keeps them attentive to the class. The opposite happens with the dictation at the blackboard that they find boring, the repetitive because this for me it will always be an option to use a technological tool for teaching English. Sir, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for coming, Miss Catherine. Please wait for our call. And thank you very much for this activity. Thank you.